Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of RimWorld in the New Horizons series. So we have a little bit of a problem that we're going to be trying to sort out today. So the problem is the Boomalope that had a heart attack last episode is actually towards its end of its life period, so it's going to probably blow up anytime. So the number one thing that I want to do is sort that part out and also tame up a male so we can start breeding them, and then we can have a constant supply. That way we don't need to keep taming them. There is a little bit of a catch to that though. Taming a Boomalope has a 10% chance of actually exploding or attacking the target, so yeah, it's a risk. So once we failed at taming up that one Boomalope, at least that time, we went and sent Megan over to another settlement to sell that other Boomalope. So we sent Megan out, and she's currently taking that Boomalope over to a settlement, and a couple times there was a couple lightning strikes that almost took out our animals. Yeah, we got there with Megan, but she can't trade because she's mute, so we have to send her back with the Boomalope, unfortunately. We'll send Faye, I guess, with her next time. So Megan returned home safely with the Boomalope, and it didn't explode when she just came onto the map, so that's good too. Yeah, so we'll send out Faye next, I guess, with Megan. Honestly thinking I should have probably done Megan and Faye last time, because Faye has the knife and Megan has the shotgun, so it gives a good balance for melee and range. So Dennis was just doing his normal gardening and stuff like that, and then Tony decided, you know what, I'm going to go on a fire spree. So I'm like, alright, let's just get Dennis over there and help tell him to put out the fires and stuff like that. And he was doing an okay job at first. We told him to put out the fires and stuff, and I had the game on speed, like fast forward, so I could get through it faster. And you know, he's still doing a pretty good job at putting out the fires and stuff. And then I think I got too comfortable with clicking that particular option, because the next one right here, I by accidentally canceled and then arrested Tony by accident. Meanwhile, there's a fire blazing, right? I'm just like, alright, that's going to be a little bit of a problem. So I wanted to kind of make her go back to being a regular person, but we're gonna have to like tell her, like, work on that, because you can't just do that. So we got Dennis in a position to put out that fire because it's way too big for what we can actually put out. And then the trade screen came up because they reached their destination. I'm just like, oh my god, no. So I think the game's paused currently, which shouldn't be too much of a problem. I wasn't too worried about it. We're selling that Boomalope finally, and there is absolutely nothing here that... Oh, it's because we're not even at our destination. There's a trader on the path, I think. So yeah, we'll just sell the Boomalope and continue to our destination, I guess. So that's good. We'll move on, and we're going to the further settlement too. So yeah, we'll just... Dennis has one of those smoke packs or foam packs, so we'll just put out the fire easily. So a new problem arose. June, our newest baby, needs care, and Tony was doing that. So we'll have May help her sister, I guess. So at this point, Megan and Faye came back, and they're probably wondering what on earth just happened. Why is Tony in prison? I'm just like, shrug. It happened. So we've been feeding Tony some lavish food, I believe it is. So I've been also trying to recruit her, which will help turn her back into a settler. She's down to 14.8, which is a little bit better, but it's still quite a bit to go. I also noticed later on that Megan actually tamed up that male Boomalope, so that was actually really good. We were meaning to tame that up, and I'm guessing that we were not going to blow up now, so thumbs up. Good job, Megan. And it looks like they're already breeding, so that's perfect. We'll have calves pretty soon, and we'll be able to sell some. So all is not good though. We do have a small little raid from some rats that have disease, so we're trying to take on those right now. And we did manage to get them all down, so that's good. Shouldn't harm our settlers. Yeah, and then Tony decides to escape. So This was shortly after, and she just walks out of her cell and starts wandering out. So I don't think our setup is exactly secure enough with the current design. So Dennis was just over by the kitchen, and I'm like, all right, well, I don't want to shoot her, but I do want to put her back in her cell. So I got Dennis to just go over there and hit her with the gun, the stock of the gun and stuff, and I was hoping that that would knock her out quite quickly. Though she managed to stun him for some reason, and eventually he got low enough on health where he was downed. So immediately I'm like, okay, this isn't going to work. So I sent Megan in to basically do the same thing. So Megan's coming around the corner. She picks up the gun, and then Megan's like, oh, darn, you got a gun. So I'm like, can you punch her? And she's like trying to punch. And at that point, she finally gets it. Dennis is trying to get over there to get to the medical room. And then all of a sudden, like, Faye, I think, comes in, and she's like, oh, wrong place. And I'm like, oh no, you got the knife. Go help. Go help Megan. And she's like, all right, I got this. So, yeah, Tony, you're going back in the cell. So she's like, here, let me just down you. And, yeah, I'll tend to this. It's okay. I'll put her back in the cell. So, meanwhile, everyone's like basically like injured to like near death, and I'm just like, all right, Megan, can you help Tony, because he's like crawling across the carpet or the floor and trying to get to the medical room. So Faye tends to Tony, and then Ghost tends to the other two, since they don't have like death injuries that are needing tending, to be exact. So yeah, that was an experience, that's for sure. Wasn't expecting to come out of that. So we got Tony back. I got Faye over there to talk to her about joining the colony, which is kind of weird since she was already there to begin with, but things happen. After that, we gave Tony her role back, so everyone came into the chapel and basically watched her give a speech, and then she got a role. There's an autosave, which is convenient. So I also put a moisture pump in the pen for the boomalopes. So right now that mud isn't really making the grass grow that fast, so I wanted to try improving that. The last thing that really happened today was that Megan and May got a sleeping sickness, which is actually deadly if not tended to and maintained. They need to be sleeping in a medical bed or a regular bed. It is survivable if you tend to it. So we're going to have to really work on that next episode, make sure that they're tended to and their immunity can grow. So outside of that, everything is kind of back to normal. We got our boomalopes breeding and making offspring. We also got rid of that really old one. So that's good, and, you know, Tony's back with us, so that's good too. And now we kind of have to deal with a sickness, but that's all right. We'll make it through, hopefully. Faye and Tony are both doctors, so I'm sure everyone will be fine, especially if Faye's tending to them. So outside of that, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe before you click off, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace out.